where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the new Studio 86 Arcee. And at first I wasn't sure about this one, mostly because before we actually got a good look at the figure, it looked like it was really close to the Earthrise mold, which I am not really a fan of. I did not like the Earthrise mold very much, / Kingdom release of Arcee. I just thought, I don't know, it just felt like a lazy figure with all of the parts forming and crazy big backpack that it had without the parts forming. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to stick with the 30th anniversary Arcee because I feel like Hasbro nailed it with that figure, especially better than the Earthrise mold. I mean, I feel like the 30th mold is way, way better than the Earthrise mold. But then I saw it in person and realized it is not the same mold, because I know there was a lot of confusion there, and I know I'm not the only one. It is not the same mold. In fact, it is a much better mold. I actually like this one more than the 30th mold as well. So it is an all-new Arcee figure based off of her appearance in the original 86 Transformers film. Got some awesome artwork of her right there. You've got more of a full body artwork right there on the side. A little bit of a close-up profile right there. On the back, you get to see her in both modes. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. She, of course, being in the Studio Series line, does come with an awesome Studio Series backdrop, which I think looks really good. You've got Autobot City there in the background, getting blitzed by the Decepticons. And there she is with her blaster pistol. She looks good. And here she is, and she's looking really good. I like the shade of pink they went with here. I like that it's a little bit more kind of metallic in color rather than just like a flat pink or just a really bright pink. The head sculpt looks really good. I didn't really have a problem with either of the previous head sculpts or face sculpts. There's her big car backpack. Seems like we can't really do an Arcee without a big car backpack. And I get that a lot of people did like the Earthrise mold because you got to take part of the backpack off. I get that people liked that. I didn't like that because it's parts forming, and parts forming is gross. Sometimes it's necessary, yes, but I feel like parts forming is really only truly necessary when a character actually parts forms as part of their transformation in canon. Arcee is not one of those characters. So I'm really glad that they took the time to engineer a whole new mold for Studio 86 to give us a better, definitive, modern G1 Arcee, because it did turn out much better. It looks very, very good. She is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, single jointed elbows, nothing at the wrists, waist, hips, just above the knee at the bottom of the thigh, and then you've got a single jointed knee, ankle joints forward and back and side to side. For comparison, here she is next to the 30th anniversary Arcee. As you can see, they're actually very similar. The 30th one has a bit more blues on her though. Like right there on the front of the car, she's got blue. She's got a brighter blue windshield. They both have decent sized backpacks. But overall, I do think this one just looks a little bit better. There are, you can tell, some similarities between the two molds though. Like her arms are actually quite similar. Not totally similar, but kind of similar. Her hand molds aren't quite the same, but they also look very, very similar. Overall, a really nice new Arcee. And then here is the other Arcee, the Earthrise / Kingdom mold. Again, this one is way better, because she looks good when you parts form her. When you take part of her off, there's the whole back half of her car mode. I prefer this big backpack over this, or the display of the big backpack this one had, any day. I know that's not probably going to be the most popular opinion. I'm sure there's quite a few Transformer fans who disagree with me, and that's totally fine. You know, that we have 3 really good modern options for an Arcee now. I would just say pick your preference. These are the 3 different ones. In order of release, which one do you think is the best one? Which Arcee do you think would be your definitive Arcee in your collection? Again, it's definitely this one now. For a good long time, almost 10 years in fact, it was this one. Just show off those backpacks again. Just to show off those backpacks again. These 2 are definitely way better than this one. Even with the parts forming, I still would take these 2 over this one at any point. But that's just me. Again, let me know in the comments which version of these Arcees is your favorite and your definitive Generation 1 Arcee in your collection. Or Generations Arcee, whichever you're collecting your Arcee for, whichever set you're collecting her for. Transformation is nice and simple. We're going to start by removing her blaster from her hand there. Next, we're going to untab her chest here. We're going to pull all of that apart. We're going to rotate that waist around. We're going to rotate her heels inward towards each other and then fold them up like so. And then we're not going to need to do anything with the legs for a minute. Kind of get the arms moved over to the side out of our way, and then next we're going to bring this section all the way up, click that into place. There's the front of the car. Her head is facing inward like so, and then come to the back over here, and we're going to start unfolding all of this. So unfold those rear wheel sections, bring these out, and then before we fully rotate this all the way down, flip out that rear section right there, click that into place, and as you can see, we've got a lot of the top of the car there formed with just the robot to stow away. We're going to bring her shoulders all the way up, collapse this section down on itself, and then get those hands in these little front of the car sections right there. That's where her hands are gonna kind of be disguised. And then there's a little tab on that inner panel there. That's gonna tab in right to that big socket there on the side of the shoulder. So get those tabbed in on both sides. And then next up, we are going to take this peg right here, peg that in right there. So just kind of fold the legs in, work with the joints you have with those double hinge joints there until you get it into position. And then once you do, get those feet tabbed right there in the center. Make sure you didn't undo any of that other tabbing there on the side or panel work there on the side. Oh, I did accidentally fold that in. No wonder it wasn't lining up properly. And make sure you don't accidentally fold back in any of the panels for when she's in robot mode, so that her car mode actually lines up properly. There we go. And overall, while she does kind of look like a folded robot under a car body, like many Arcee figures do, I think this one hides it the best, especially from the side and from the rear. You can't tell as much. I mean, you've got a little bit of her waist here poking out of the bottom, but it's not as significant as the Earthrise / Kingdom mold of Arcee. You also have some really cool little paneling work on the inside, some dials and things for her while she's in car mode. That nice clear plastic windshield there. She's got her big antenna going down the back, and that metallic pink color they went with for this version of Arcee, I just think looks the best. And for comparison, here she is next to the Thrilling 30s Arcee. As you can see, they also have that similar little gap between the front fenders and the seating area of the vehicle mode. Similar shape in the front of the vehicle. The back of the vehicle mode is where it really starts to differ, because rather than just have a whole panel for the rear section of the vehicle mode, her thighs make up this whole section right here and plug into the rear section of the vehicle mode. Even on the underside, it's a little different how they're arranged. The transformations between the two are a little bit more similar to the transformation of this one, however. But there definitely is blended elements between the transformation of this one and this one that made its way into the final design, which is one of the main reasons why I think this is the best and definitive version, in my opinion, is because it took some of the more positive elements between these two Arcees and combined them into one really good Arcee. I'm also not crazy about her vehicle mode overall in the Earthrise Kingdom mold. It definitely feels also more like a shell former than this one does. The transformation's not as involved. Really, all we did was fold her up into a pretzel underneath a vehicle mode shell, whereas with this one, I mean, at least the arms and legs go in different places and actually peg into somewhere, whereas there's nothing really securing the legs in here. They're just folded in here enough to where you can have her sit on a surface and still roll. Again, I know there are still fans out there who find this Arcee to still be their preference, but I gotta say this is the winner here for me. Let me know in the comments which one you like the best in vehicle mode. I like this one the best. From a G1 fan perspective, this is definitely gonna be my favorite. For the longest time, I really liked this one. Really what it came down to between the two is the mold is slightly better here, but also the color scheme is a lot better here than this one. As much as I like this one, I prefer the grays, whites, and that metallic pink over the bright pink, blacks, and blues that are incorporated onto this design. While it definitely has more going on color scheme-wise here, again, it's just the overall accuracy of this one is what drives this one home for me in comparison to the other two. This one, I'm just, like I said, I'm just not crazy about this one. It's my least favorite mold when it comes to Arcee. I think in general, really, I think this is really my least favorite Arcee mold, probably of all time. But that's just me. Like I said, let me know in the comments which one's your favorite, and make sure you stay tuned for more of our Transformer reviews. Check out some of our other reviews here on Bay 12. Make sure you like and subscribe, follow us on social media so you don't miss updates about upcoming reviews or even our upcoming live sales that we do. Check out our new storefront inside the Shops at Willow Bend Mall in Plano, Texas, inside Order 66 Multiverse. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.